Hello, welcome. I'm Antoinette. I'm one of the co-hosts here at Chick Chat and Chill. I'm the owner of Pixel This, which is a full-service design firm. So whether you want to promote your brand, your business, or your service, I'm the one to call. And let me introduce my other co-host, Laura, and we also have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Laura Fickett, your Fickett financial coach. I love to help individuals and business owners make more money, manage it better, retain it to build their wealth. I do workshops, I do private coaching, I do speaking engagements, I do free consultations. You don't have to be alone in your finances. I can help. And so I tell people, give me a call. We'll talk it through, see how I can help you, get a hold of everything and make sure that you live wealthy instead of living paycheck to paycheck. Our guest today, we'll introduce him. I hope that it'll be an enjoyable show for him, but he only knows the topic. He doesn't know what we're going to be talking about, but it's Alan Lowe here in the studio with us.
I've watched a bunch of your shows, and obviously I've been in on all of them because I do the board back here. But I've also watched a bunch of your shows, and I'm a little nervous.
So today we're going to be talking about what girls wish guys knew about how we think and how we do things, because sometimes it gets a little aggravating. Guys and girls are different in how they think, and sometimes we clash, like the Titans. So one of the huge things that I think is so different is that when I talk and I say like, hey, do you think you can do this or something like that? I guess maybe I'm not as direct, but I wish that guys understood that when women say like, can you do this? Can you wash the car, or can you pick up something, whatever? It's not a can you, it's a do it, and like do it now. Like it's a huge misconception. Like I'm thinking it's on my list of things to do. I'm asking you to take it off my plate, which means soon. It doesn't mean like 2 years from now. It means like soon. The sooner the better, so that I can cross it off my list and move ahead with my life. If I have to repeatedly tell you, then, that's a scenario where I think the guys don't enjoy being repeatedly told things, and I don't enjoy being repetitive. And so then it gets into the frustration category. So I think they need to understand in general. Now, this is not all guys. So if you're a guy watching this, you're like, I don't do that. Or you're a girl watching this, my spouse or my boyfriend doesn't do this. We're just talking in general. In general, I have 2 boys. I have 4 brothers. I have a husband. And so I'm just talking in general. Nobody's specific in my family, Dan, but like, just kidding. If I say like, hey, can you, clean the pool? It means like today or tomorrow. It doesn't mean 3 weeks from now. Am I the only one answering that?
No, I think this topic could go on for a while, because I think there's a lot of things, I'm sure. And I don't think it's that guys don't want to know. They do want to know, but sometimes they just don't get the right clues or understand. But I think one thing I want to just bring up is that, things that are a turn on, like effort is a turn on. Planning is super sexy, like, it's just better to go, hey, insert whatever it is. I'll just use dinner, but hey, I'd love for me and you to go to dinner this Saturday at 6, rather than, what are you doing this weekend? Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the first, I'm like, oh, wow, that's a guy who really likes me, wants to spend time with me. And whether or not, it might not work where I'm available for dinner time and we could figure it out. But to go, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, what are you, my mother? Like, honestly, like, I'm looking to get to know you. I'm not looking for a secretary to keep track of my comings and goings. And, and it's again, a total miscommunication. So vagueness isn't sexy at all. Like, being specific with what you're trying to do, like, get to your end goal, and you're more likely to get it, put it that way.
I've been thinking about this too, is that, women have become more and more independent, and I don't really think it's by choice. I don't know. For me, like, I feel like I'm a pretty independent woman, but I want to be taken care of. I don't know. Like, I just do. And so what she's talking about is absolutely true. Like, maybe, when we were 18, you could rev your engine and that would be kind of a turn on. Now, I would like the planning. I would like the effort. I would like the, take something off my plate. Like, and there's this whole, 5 different love languages. That's like love acts of kindness or something like that. But I don't know anybody that doesn't want some sort of act of kindness in their relationship. So I think the vagueness, you're right. Like, I'm so tired of trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. Like, just take charge and say, hey, tonight we're going to eat this. Like, and that would be fantastic. It's one less thing I have to think about. We're busy.
Well, how about, so let Alan weigh in here. So no, I'm just kind of curious. Has there been anything that you've, let's say, done or something that you showed, you in your mind, it was going one way and it just blew up in your face just because of a total misread or miscommunication?
Oh, that happens
just
a lot.
Pick one.
That just happens a lot.
He's like,
that's why I lost my hair.
Yeah, and it's still going. No, it's interesting because we do look at things differently, obviously, guys and girls. But like, I really appreciate my wife when she makes dinner. But almost every day when we wake up in the morning, open my eyes for the first time, and she says, "What do you want for dinner tonight?" My mind is on work and what I got to get done and what's my schedule and how long is it going to take to do this? What do I have to run out to the shop and get? And all of this kind of stuff. And I understand where she's coming from, but I don't have an answer at that stage. Now, ask me around noontime when I've got a lot of things out of the way, and then I can, formulate some kind of answer and maybe even help out. But a lot of times, we open our eyes and what do you want for dinner tonight? And because I don't have an answer at that moment, because I'm just not programmed that way, it gets to the point where there's a feeling of, I don't care that she's cooking dinner. And it's nothing like that. It's just, when I open my eyes, I'm work minded, not dinner minded. That's, 12 hours or 13 hours from now.
This is a perfect example because I have said this before. I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answer to. So like, when I ask a question, I want an answer. I don't want, I don't know, or let me think about it. I want an answer. Like, I want an answer. I want an answer now. So in this scenario, like, I have solutions for these types of things and they just don't ever work out the way I hoped that they would. But in this scenario, you said like at noon, you know what you want for dinner, right? So say you're on a Thursday and it's noontime and you're like, oh, I know what I want for dinner, but she's already decided she's cooking chicken tonight, but you wanted hamburgers, whatever. So then you write it down, hamburgers. So then Friday morning, when you wake up, you say, hey, I want hamburgers for dinner, because it was like 12 o'clock the day before that you thought about it.
That's actually a good answer.
Be like 18 hours in arrears. Like,
no, but that would work out really well, doing it that way and being able to give the illusion that I planned ahead.
But planning ahead, I mean, be honest, is that a problem for men?
I can't speak for all men, but I can speak for me in that I hate to put it this way, but domestic ideas, I'm not good at planning ahead because I work a lot. And so my mind is always planning ahead on work. And the older I get, the less space there is in my brain. That's my excuse. And so talking about dinner and talking about things around the house, I'm not good at planning ahead. No.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to be so politically correct here. We appreciate that. He's like, I'm going to say enough to not get myself in trouble, but
I have to stay married.
No, but I think he brings up a really good point that for women, we have an overactive mind, and we have a tendency to overanalyze almost everything. So if something is, let's say, very consistent, and if, I don't know, like normally you and your guy, have a conversation every day at 3:00 for half an hour. I'm just making up things, but let's say you do that, and then all of a sudden he's really busy one day, and then he doesn't call. then the girl's mind is like, what's going on? Like, what, like they're just thinking all these things. And for the guy, they're like, oh God, we've talked every day for the last 29 days. Can I have one day where we don't, and it's the thing that I think women crave is consistency. So like, even in your example, if you just made the consistency different, how about I call you at noon, instead, and let you know, or something like that. Like, at least be honest. So if something were to happen that, like, when women say they like security, guys think dollar signs, and women think emotionally. Like, it's more than that. It's that you feel that the guy's dependable, that he's there, like all those things. So, if something would come up that's going to be different from the norm, at least be proactive enough to just send a 10-second text to be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to call you today, or things are a little crazy, I'll check back with you tomorrow, or something like that, where I think it's that proactive that really would go a long way. It's easier to, I don't know.
I don't think guys, I think they're focused on the moment,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm working on this project right now, and I know, like, I love her, she loves me, whatever, and that'll be fine. But you're right. Like, we want that attention, and security really is, like, not just about, like, safety. It's about being secure that we're able to express ourselves, and we're able to talk about things, and we're not going to, you're not going to think that we're crazy or weird or anything like that. Like, the word crazy, first of all, that's a bad word to say to a woman. Like, okay. Guys need to know that. Like,
I discovered that.
You're acting crazy. Okay, this isn't crazy. You want to see crazy? You've just pressed the crazy button.
Yes.
Welcome to crazy. Here we come. I think word choices too, are really important. I think one thing that guys don't understand about women is that we do read between the lines, or we think we read between the lines, or we will read between the lines. Like, we will invent things between the lines. So your word choices are very important. But guys, they're trained. Think about a group of guys. They hang out together. They don't even think before they speak most of the time at all. Like, they're just saying all kinds of stuff, kind of like we do here on Chick Chat and Chill, really. But I think word choices are important for guys to understand. So, when you're speaking to another guy, you can't use the same language, the same words, the same stuff that you use with women. So, Alan, like, you said that crazy. Have you found any other words that triggered some response that you were not intending?
That I wasn't intending? Well, it's interesting because if we're starting to get into an argument or something, and I feel us going in that direction, I will always try to back out of the argument. Like, let's discuss this later. Something like, can we put this off till later? It doesn't work that way.
No.
Don't work that way. Because I'm the type of guy that I'm very cool, even tempered, I'll say, until voices start to rise. And when voices start to rise, the hair on the back of my neck goes up, and then I will say things that probably should never be said. And so to avoid that, I'll say, can we discuss this later, which gives me a chance to bring it back down. But it doesn't go that way.
No. Well, I think because guys get defensive, right? They're taught, like, when somebody raises their voice or comes at them, that they're not in the flight mode. You want to be flight, but she wants to fight. And so then you try and fight. But sometimes, I mean, even for, I don't know, Antoinette, you can voice in too. But when I'm in a fight, like, or when I have something I need to say it, like, right now. It's not like, can we talk about this later? Like, no, I'm really upset right now. And if we talk about this later, it's going to be detrimental to your health, because for the next couple hours, I'm still going to continue to think about this, and I will add more and more onto what we're discussing. That's what guys don't understand. Like, you think I'll delay it and I'll cool down. You're just going to heat up the argument because I will continue to think about it until we talk about it again. I can't just put it on the back burner. I don't know. Like women, I just don't think we're wired that way.
Yeah. And well, I do want to kind of circle back to a couple things though that kind of both of you mentioned. So some other examples I think of ways to phrase things just to give some more context, like the crazy or what,
bad.
But another one is just how you respond to something. Like, let's say you're out in public and another female hits on your significant other and he says, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend. That's very different than just saying, no, thanks, I have a girlfriend. I'm sorry is like you're somehow sorry that you have this girlfriend. And, like there is a context to that. Or
I feel like I just saw this online, this scenario, but I feel like in a guy's head, they think it's the same.
Yeah. Or even,
I do.
even what you,
I would think it would be the same.
But it isn't. And then even what Lora said, like she actually gave you the watered down version of you're acting crazy. That's way better than saying you are crazy.
But in their eyes, I really think they think it's the same.
But it isn't. It really, like I said, women, you got to understand, like women really think about things.
The words.
And it's not only the words. And I'm throwing this out there that it's not on the words you say, but it's the words you don't. We read just as much into what isn't said that should have been said or clarified, and you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And a lot of times guys do this because the context that there's something that they really don't want to disclose, or they think it might put them in a worse light. Not saying it makes you, then we're assuming the absolute worst. You're better off coming clean. Most women are like human lie detectors when it comes to their guys. Yeah. And guys think that they could be, if a woman's not calling you on your lies, it's not that she doesn't know you're lying. She just doesn't even want to go there.
The funny thing is as you're speaking, I'm thinking every guy that's watching this is thinking, oh my, girls are crazy. And I'm like, this is not what we're trying to convey here. No. We're trying to convey we think differently. And so how do we bridge the gap here?
Yeah.
Because I really think, like you said, Alan, like, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend, or like, no, thanks, I have a girlfriend. To you, it's the same thing. Or like you're acting crazy or you're crazy. Like to you, it's the same, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think anything different.
He wouldn't think anything different. And all right, now I'm going to take the guy's side. We're reading into it, right? We're reading into it. But guys need to understand that we read into it. We're going, like I said, we're going to read between the lines. We're going to invent things between the lines. We're going to we read into those word choices. And I think it's just inherent. Like we're active listening. And then, here's another one. Another word choice. If we're getting into an argument or a discussion that's heated and you ask me a high decibel discussion, as Alan says, and you ask me what time of the month it is.
Oh, no. I know better than that.
Alan has just visibly shuddered in front of me and his face has gone white. Like his PTSD just clicked in.
Yeah.
Bad news. But like, all right, I need a male's opinion. Like, what would possess somebody to say that?
Stupidity.
I mean, I think
guys know better. I hope guys know better.
I really don't. I don't think they know better because it still happens here in 2025. It's still maybe guys of the more vintage era.
Thanks. Well, perhaps then it's. I'm thinking back, and I don't think I've ever said that, but maybe, for the most part, it's a one-time thing, and then you learn.
But if you didn't say it and you thought it, we would know.
I've thought it. Yeah, there you go. Yes, I've thought it.
If you're looking at the calendar while we're having a conversation.
Oh, my God. But I think there's a couple things to bring up is, like with guys, I think they think women are so complicated, or
I'm thinking we are.
Well, I think we're just misread because they're trying to read us the way males read other males, where women give so many clues that guys are just like oblivious to it, like absolutely oblivious. So even as simple as, do I ask this girl out? There are guys that a woman's never going to come up to you and go, I like you. Please ask me out. She will never say that.
No.
And they will sit there going on and on and on. Like, it takes, as long as there's like some kind of baseline of attraction, you can play ball. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually go and ask somebody out, and initiative goes a long, long way, because at some point, if you just become that like sniveling person who doesn't have the set of, to like ask somebody, we just lose respect for you.
Unless you're my daughter, don't go up to her and ask her out. She's going to say no anyway.
No, but I think it's one of those that I think guys think like I have to wait to this, or I have to do this. And it's not about, it's not, he has a bigger wallet, or so many guys think like if you say no, it's because of these ridiculous things. And more often than not, it's characteristics and how you hold yourself. Like, for example, confidence is key. And that just means, it doesn't mean cocky. A lot of guys think confidence is cocky.
Oh, yeah.
Confidence isn't, I have a car and I just spent $50,000 on a Rolex, and, yawn. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you just won every state lottery on the planet. If you're annoying to be around, I don't want to be with you.
I've already analyzed your budget anyway, and I can tell you
you're overspending. A Timex is $35.99.
Your financial coach says no, but you know what? It just made me think that I think guys don't understand that women change the rules. So we change the rules for different scenarios, right? So I want you to be in charge in some scenarios, but I don't want you to be in charge in others. And so I think it's very difficult for them to recognize this. So here, I'm going to explain to you. Sometimes I'm having an issue with friends or family or something, kids or whatever, and I just want to talk to you. Like, I just want to vent to you because you know all the parts, and I can vent to you, and I don't want you to take charge and solve my problem. Like, that makes me feel like you're not listening, and you want just to get through this difficult situation as quickly as possible. And I just, Alan's over here shaking his head. He's cracking me up. But there's other times when I do want you to take over and take charge and take it off my plate. And so I think we do change the rules based on the scenario. And you need to understand, like, am I supposed to be the listener? Am I supposed to be the hero? Which, like, you need to think in this scenario, what is the best thing? What does my, significant other need right now from me, and change the scenario. You can't always be the hero. Sometimes you need to be the consoler, and you need to. So I think we change the rules, but guys are just like, well, I am this, and this is what I provide, and this is what you will get. And that's not what I need in every scenario. Does that make sense, Alan? Am I being, he's like so confused right now.
Well, from my point of view, yes, you guys changed the rules. And I don't know which page in the rule book I'm supposed to be looking at, because I think that guys have, an innate desire to solve a problem. So when you want us to be listeners, and our mind is, we need to solve this problem or give you ideas to solve the problem. So I don't know how to communicate the difference. Maybe you have ideas on that, because I screw that one up a lot.
Well, what if, but here's the thing is, if I say to you, I just want you to listen right
now. That's
now.
different. Now you've keyed it.
I've keyed it, but then I've keyed it in a bad way.
Now I can tune
Shut
out.
up. I just want you to listen right now. But does that, I guess from a guy's standpoint, is the more direct approach?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you were to just say, I just want you to listen right now.
Then you would just listen right now. Then you would be the listener and not the problem solver.
Right. But if you just came in at it, I would be the problem solver.
Because if I'm talking to another girl and she's telling me her problems, and she said to me, then I'm like trying to help or whatever, and she's telling me like, I want you to just listen right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take my earrings off. I'm just kidding.
But I think guys change the rules a little bit too. Like, 1 minute they're like, oh, they don't want you to be independent, because they do want to be your, knight in shining armor and do these things. But at the same time, kind of like Lora said, where if you need something done, then they're more than happy to put it on the back burner for the next 2 years. So you can't have it both ways that way either. Either if you're knight in shining armor, then when the pool needs cleaning, jump up. So,
Yes,
so I
it's
think
true.
it goes both
Funny
ways.
story about that. Our pool needed cleaning, so I drained it.
Oh,
It's still empty.
well, that's not going to make for
No.
exercise and
No.
swimming fun.
No.
But you're right, Antoinette, because I'm thinking like if I say, okay, go clean the gutters, please, and it doesn't happen, and then I take the dog out and I see the stuff from the trees in the gutters, like I'm gonna go get the ladder
Yeah.
and I'm
then
gonna
they
go
get
do
mad.
it, and then they get mad,
Yeah.
because I went and got the ladder, and so okay, but I asked you to clean the gutters and you didn't, and so like now.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. And I think the best thing to do is just if you're the one on the receiving end of it, just ask. Like if someone's venting, just go, is this a listening moment or a helping moment? You know? I don't think any girls.
You think a guy is gonna ask that?
I've had guys ask that. Like, is this where I should listen, or
I'm not sure that I have ever encountered. And
No.
Alan's looking at us like
No.
that's not happening.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
the-
totally
I
not
wouldn't
happening.
But the other thing I want to bring up, which I think is a huge misconception, is guys seem to equate kindness with something transactional,
Oh,
right? So they do something for you.
Wait, time out. You have to show the cameras. Like, show the cameras. I'm over here laughing because I'm facing Alan, and his face is like, show your face. Like, you're just like,
What is she talking about?
oh gosh, she's gonna tell you right now. So you're gonna learn today.
No, so like if as a guy, if you do something nice for us with any sort of intention on reaping some reward for this niceness, it's no longer nice.
I gotta get out myself.
That's
over
like,
here.
okay, let's work off the spaghetti dinner. I mean that's the equivalent, But but that's basically what it is. So they'll do something, and rather than it being from the kindness of their heart, they have some ulterior motive. Oh, they want to go away with the weekend with the guys. That's why they just washed your car, or you know what I mean? And there's this expectation that this kind gesture now gives them some sort of, I don't know,
ticket.
yeah, some ticket for this next thing. And it doesn't work that way, because not only does that make you look terrible, it takes away all proceeds from that kind event, and but I see that a lot.
I've seen that, and Everybody Loves Raymond, that show. It's so funny though, but that you bring it up. I knew exactly this is
you knew
the key. I
immediately.
knew immediately what she was talking about, and Alan did not.
It was like deer in the headlights.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like,
this is what guys need to know. Like,
Yeah.
you need to listen how girls think about things. Like, and you are probably thinking, well, I know I'm going to be going away for a weekend, or I'm going to be going golfing, and so I want to do something nice to her, for her. And then, you're thinking that's a good handoff, like a good trade-off, right? Because you're going to do something nice, and we're thinking it's manipulative.
Yeah. I would. I don't know that I've done things expecting a reward.
But just inherently, you didn't do it
inherently-
intentionally.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done things, I'm going to go do my thing. So here's something for you, so that we're balanced.
Yes.
In my mind.
And in your mind, that's perfectly fine, because you're not doing it intentionally. You're just doing it to be nice, because, something nice is going to happen for you. So you're balancing, and we're thinking that's where the disconnect is. The girls are thinking he only did that nice thing because he wants something else. That's why I knew immediately. That's why I couldn't stop laughing. I knew immediately what you were going to talk about.
yeah.
And Alan, I'm so glad we have you on the show today, because it's a perfect example of the disconnect.
Yeah.
That's going on. This has to be this has to be 101, and then we'll have 102 and 103.
Yeah.
We're going to have more
need it.
segments here.
Yeah.
Training for guys versus girls.
But there is one thing that I
it's
do.
for training for us too.
Yeah, I hope. There is one thing that I do.
We're not even going to get into bathroom habits.
To go back to Antoinette was saying, when if you've got something and it's a consistent thing, and then something happens that you can't do it, I agree with that, but I try very hard every day. When I'm in and out of my truck a lot during the day, so when I jump in the truck, I will text my wife, "Hey, how's it going? I love you. Hope you're having a good day." Something like that, just constantly. And then at the end of the day, I'm on my way home, or I won't be home until such time. So I personally am aware of that, and I will constantly try to be that way. I do it because I think it's fun on my end to just surprise her with different texts and stuff.
Yeah.
But
no, I think that's huge. Like, as you know, and it goes, I always have this analogy that I say where like a woman is kind of like ice cream and a guy is kind of like the bowl. So he brings kind of the structure and that kind of the environment to keep us feeling good, that we could be our ooey gooey self like into this bowl. Where if it's this chaotic, you know, you don't know when it's there, when it's not, when it like it's, you just never really relax into it the way a woman can. And I think the other problem too is if a woman ever shares anything, let's say personal, the last thing you should do is ever like laugh or poke fun at something like that. Because if a woman opened up about something, it's because she trusts you. So if you just do something very counterintuitive to her trusting you, it's not going to go well. I mean, the last thing you want to do is have her get closed off even more so. You know, I think that's just not a good dynamic. But sometimes guys get uncomfortable if, let's say, she's bringing up something that's maybe deeply personal and they don't know how to react, you know, and they'll try to make light or make joke, and sometimes that's just not the best reaction.
No,
so.
their default sometimes I think is sarcasm and jokes. Like, yeah, wouldn't you say? Like, and that is like never our default.
No,
it's never a woman's default. It's never. But I think it is a guy's default when they become, because think about it, when they're in high school, when they're in grade school and whatever, and they become uncomfortable in a situation, they make jokes. Like they try to make light of situations. And so that has become their default, and it's never our default. No. So guys, I think that's something you need to understand about women, is that it never is. When you were given the bowl analogy, I'm thinking, this is actually a pretty good analogy, because when I get out of the bowl, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah. Well, right? I mean, it just kind of like, who's going to enjoy ice cream on the counter, like dripping on the floor? Nobody.
No, yeah.
You know.
Do you got any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
No, I think the biggest,
I think we got to do another.
I think we definitely do. But I think the biggest final thought I would just say is, if you're ever confused, ask. And really, like, I think it's very rare that a woman's going to like turn into this crazy lunatic without giving ample warning of like what she has a problem with. I have times where I'll break up with somebody and they're completely unaware that it was a problem that I've raised 10 times. And the thing is, I'm not a screamer. I'm not going to be like, but it shouldn't have to get to that level for a guy to take notice. If I told him this isn't working for me, and if it continues, it's not going to work for me. You know, take that with it. It is, you know, meant for your ears to be constructive, because, and I think this is the biggest thing, women want it to work. I think guys think that women are in this, like, we're trying to test you and make you jump through hoop. No, we actually, if we're with you, we want it to work. Yes. And it's really up. It's yours to lose, honestly.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, thank you, Ellen, for joining us today. We really appreciate your looks and your facial expressions. And we did find, by having you on the show, we found a lot of the disconnects here, but we just didn't have enough time to cover all kinds of stuff. So the next episode, we've talked about like feeding your body with nutrition. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about all kinds of different things, but feeding your mind is very important. So next week, we're going to talk about, I have props here. We'll see if the green screen lets them happen. This is my Bible. I feed my mind with the Bible. I actually have this great book. It's 52 weeks to read the Bible that I got on Amazon. And you read like a couple chapters a day, and in a year you've read through the Bible. But we're going to talk about that next time that we meet with you guys, because I think it's really important to put good thoughts in your head and good food in your mind, so that you can have a wealthy, wonderful life. So as always, here on Chick Chat and Chill, never stop learning
and never stop laughing. See you next week.